Getting book reviews isn't easy. Sure, maybe you can get a random review on Amazon or Goodreads without any effort, but in order to legally get more books reviewed, you have to actively search for good reviewers. Between Amazon's strict rules and some well-meaning author review sites, how can you be sure your book is in safe hands? We decided to do a case study with a new author review site called Get Books Reviewed. Season 1 Book Rescue guest Robert G. Culp volunteered to be our guinea pig when we first met around July 2021. I noticed one of his biggest problems was the lack of reviews. After all, without any reviews, Robert lacked the social proof needed to elicit a buy. And if you're in the same boat as Robert, then I may have an option right up your alley. So what's the big deal with reviews? If you're publishing, especially on Amazon, then you should know that in the Amazon Advertising Certification course, they stated that 91% of customers check reviews before they make a purchase. That's 91 out of 100 people checking your reviews. And if you have little to no reviews, you're in real trouble because you're lacking the social proof they want before they can even trust you or buy your product. To further complicate the matter, Amazon went on to further state a product isn't considered retail ready until it's had at least 15 reviews with an average 3.5-star rating or greater. This was data they freely shared about advertising products. So before you ever run ads to your book on Amazon, make sure you have those reviews up to their minimum standard. How can we get reviews? Well, you can ask in your book. There's also an automated reminder at the end of any book when they're done scrolling through it. You have advanced reader copy teams and also author review sites. There's two types. You got one that gets reviews for you, or you got one that you get access to a pool of reviewers. Enter getbooksreviewed.com. So how does it work? Well, the founder of getbooksreviewed.com, Debbie Siebert, had this to say.
Well, it's an opportunity for authors to join a membership site, to submit their books, to be dumped into kind of a central database of other books separated by genre. And then they go in and read and take a look at the library. They find books of interest to them that they check out and read and review. And so everybody who comes on board does the same thing. And it's all, like I say, it's all just a general database, but it is separated by genre so that people can find books that are of interest to them.
Who is Get Books Reviewed for?
For any author who'd like to get reviews, honestly, especially indie authors, but even traditional authors who need reviews. Anyone who needs reviews, I mean, it will benefit any author.
Essentially, it works like an author review swap, but without the direct contact that would negate the review due to Amazon perceiving bias. What are author review swaps and why is it dangerous? Amazon doesn't want biased reviews, meaning they don't want customers posting reviews of products where they have something to gain out of leaving a review. Author review swaps used to work like this. Two authors need reviews on their books. So they trade and read each other's books, leave an honest review on Amazon and elsewhere, and everyone leaves happy. However, due to the direct connection, for however brief or professional, Amazon sees this practice as biased. Not only will Amazon remove the review, they'll sometimes remove reviewer posting privileges. How does Get Books Reviewed prevent Amazon perceived bias? Debbie had this to say.
The way we bypass, I think, anything that Amazon would disagree with is that no one is paying for reviews. I mean, it is a membership site that past the 10-day trial, we do have a membership which can be monthly or annual fee. And what that does is it gives you an opportunity to make your book available, but also to read and review some great books and help each other out. But you're not paying for reviews. And one thing we did to make sure, I know people are very concerned about swapping reviews and getting slapped because Amazon noticed that, two people swapped reviews. That's not possible on our site, the way we have it set up. Our algorithm is such that, say, if you checked out and reviewed one of my books, any of them, then I would no longer see any of your books in the library. And by the way, you can put as many books as you have. If you're an author, if you have one, if you have 10, you can submit all of them. That means a lot of reading to get reviews for all of them. But anyway, we did this so that there's no swap, even unintentionally, no swapping can happen on our site.
So what are the results from Get Books Reviewed? Let's hear what Robert has to say.
Well, in the first 90 days, I had about 9 reviews total by then.
9 reviews, not bad at all. What was your favorite part about Get Books Reviewed?
Oh, it was definitely the shock and kind of but wonderful feeling I would get of when I would see someone who would just leave a very detailed review on the page, especially when it was really positive. I mean, I was like, because, even at the time, like I've been telling you, I still go over my books as I self-edit, I'll still find little typos where I accidentally repeated a word once or twice by mistake. But seeing that they could still connect with the story and love the characters and keep coming back when there's other books on that site they could review and saying how much they enjoyed it. I mean, one of my favorite comments was someone saying, this book is meant for like a young adult audience, kind of teen audience, but I did not have an issue connecting with the story or the characters. It didn't stop me. I was reading it all through the night because I couldn't put it down. I was like, oh man, that is a really good compliment. And it gave me such a great feeling. I mean, one of my favorite reviews here, I'm going to if I can't read an excerpt of here in a moment, really blew me away. So definitely, I love the feeling like when they, they'll send you an email, like when someone checks out your book and is getting ready to review it. I'm like, oh man. So I'm constantly refreshing, on the Amazon product page, that feeling, where you're like, well, getting a review and please, dear God, let it be a good one. Let it be a good one. You're just got that anticipation and everything. It's like a great feeling. If you actually do get a really great review afterwards, it's detailed and like 4 or 5 stars, you're like, oh man, like you love it. That feeling right there is worth using the site alone because it's just a wonderful feeling as an author to know that.
What's the cost of getbooksreviewed.com? So for about $10 to $15 per month, you get access to a pool of authors who function as readers. Now, everybody gets 10 days free for a limited time at getbooksreviewed.com. Big thank you to Debbie for giving us complimentary access to help our book rescue guests get more books reviewed.
If you can afford the monthly price and you need some more reviews to get going, yeah, definitely. I think it is, if you can afford it, it's worth it. Overall, great service. I love the people who are running it. Very kind, customer service, incredible. It's really cool.
And speaking of book rescue, have you guys got a chance to meet Robert Foley? Well, you're going to want to make sure you go check out Robert's story right over here in this first episode of Book Rescue.